You've seen this box, right? Of course you have. It shows up at your door, it's on your neighbor's porch. That little smile is probably one of the most recognized logos on the entire planet. But what's really behind that simple cardboard box? Well, it's a global empire of just staggering complexity. And the real question is, what do we actually know about the company that sends it? Okay, let's just dive right into the numbers, because this chart, this is probably going to change how you see Amazon forever. You think of Amazon, you think of shopping, right? Buying stuff online. But look at this breakdown from 2023. The products Amazon sells directly, that's just over 40% of its revenue. That means almost 60% of this behemoth's business is something else entirely. And that brings us to a really fascinating question. If it's not all just about selling us things from a giant digital catalog, what is this company actually building? What's the master plan here? So in this explainer, we're going to break it all down. We're going to look at that massive retail core that started it all, then the invisible infrastructure it built that pretty much powers the modern world. We'll get into its really ambitious plans for the future, and of course, the human cost of all that relentless growth. First up, let's look at how that familiar online store became the foundation for everything else. You know, it started as just an online bookstore, but its real genius wasn't just in selling more books. It was in a strategy of systematically buying up the competition, then the whole bookshelf, and eventually the entire library. And this timeline just illustrates that strategy perfectly. Look at this. Back in '98, it buys a company called Telebook to get into Germany. Fast forward to 2009, it's not just selling shoes, it's buying Zappos, a huge online shoe retailer. Then, in 2014, it leaps into gaming by grabbing Twitch. And in 2021, it buys a literal century of Hollywood history with MGM. You see the pattern? From books to shoes to movies, Amazon has consistently bought its way into dominating completely different industries. And the result of all that expansion is a number that's, well, it's kind of hard to even wrap your head around. $575 billion in 1 year. That puts it in the absolute top tier of global corporations. It's an economic force more powerful than many countries. But Amazon's empire is built on way more than just retail. In fact, the most powerful and, get this, the most profitable part of the company is something that most of us have never even heard of, let alone use directly. It's all built on this idea called cloud computing. And here's the best way to think about it. Instead of you buying your own giant power generator for your house, you just plug into the electrical grid, right? Well, Amazon Web Services, or AWS, does the exact same thing, but for data and computing power. It sells that on-demand power to countless other businesses. Now, you might look at this slide and see 15.6% and think, that's not the biggest piece of the pie, but that number is so deceiving. This slice is the engine that drives the entire Amazon empire. Because the profit margins on cloud computing are so incredibly high, AWS actually generates most of the company's operating income. It's the cash cow that funds all those big bets in retail and future tech. So here's the crucial point. Amazon has basically become the internet's landlord. When you're streaming a movie on Netflix or using an app on your phone or accessing your company's software, there is a very good chance all that data is running through servers owned and operated by Amazon. Okay, so beyond the boxes and the cloud, Amazon is pouring billions of dollars into technologies that sounds like they're straight out of a science fiction movie. They're not just trying to win the market of today, they're literally trying to invent the market of tomorrow. They're trying to completely reimagine what a physical store even is. With Amazon Go, you just walk in, you grab whatever you want, and you walk out. That's it. It's powered by this tech they call Just Walk Out, which uses a wild combination of computer vision, sensors, and deep learning to figure out exactly what you took and just charge your account. No lines, no checkout, nothing. They're also building a future where your delivery doesn't even need roads. The Prime Air project is developing these super sophisticated drones. They take off like a helicopter, but then they fly like a plane for efficiency. And they're packed with these advanced sense and avoid systems, so they can navigate around power lines or birds or whatever, and drop a package at your house in minutes. And inside their massive fulfillment centers, well, the future is already here. After buying a robotics company called Kiva Systems, Amazon deployed a literal army of these little orange robots. They zip around reading codes on the floor, they slide underneath entire shelving units, lift them up, and bring them directly to a human worker. So the shelves move, not the people. It's a constant robotic ballet. And if you thought that was ambitious, their plans aren't even limited to planet Earth. Project Cooper is Amazon's plan to launch over 3,000 satellites into low Earth orbit. The goal? To create a network that can provide high-speed internet to parts of the world that are totally underserved or have no connection at all. We're talking internet from space. But building an empire of this scale at this speed, it requires a massive workforce, and the conditions for those millions of employees, especially in the warehouses and the delivery networks, have become a huge point of controversy all around the world. At over 1.5 million people, Amazon has one of the largest private employers on the planet. I mean, that's a workforce bigger than the entire population of a lot of cities. It's a vast human machine that keeps the whole commerce engine running 24/7. But there are some really deep concerns about how that machine is managed. Just imagine for a second. You work hard every single day, and then you find out some computer glitch has been systematically underpaying you. Or worse, it automatically fired you while you were on approved medical leave. According to a New York Times investigation, that has been the reality for some Amazon workers, victims of an automated system that was built for just ruthless efficiency. And these don't seem to be isolated incidents either. A pretty clear pattern of controversy has emerged worldwide. In Germany, labor unions have repeatedly pointed to sickness rates that are way above the national average. Workers are often monitored by surveillance systems that track their every move for productivity. That intense pressure extends to drivers too, with these widespread reports of them being forced to skip bathroom breaks. The company even had to pay out a $61 million settlement for withholding tips from its delivery drivers. And when workers have tried to speak out, like the activists who were fired after raising safety concerns during the pandemic, they've often been met with really stiff resistance. So let's step back. When you put all of these pieces together, the retail dominance, the hidden power of the cloud, the sci-fi future tech, and this immense human impact, what does it all add up to? What is this thing? Well, it adds up to something that's really more than just a company. Yeah, by pure revenue, it's number 2 behind Walmart, but its integration into the actual digital fabric of our lives is, well, it's pretty much unrivaled. Amazon isn't just a player in our economy anymore, it's becoming this force of nature that is actively reshaping the world around us. So, here's the bottom line. Think of Amazon like a giant octopus. Its tentacles now reach into nearly every aspect of commerce, technology, and culture. It's not just a store, it's the infrastructure for other stores. It's not just a streaming service, it's the cloud that other streaming services actually run on. And all of this leaves us with one final, really important thought. As this single company's power and influence just keeps expanding, shaping our world in ways we can see and in ways we can't, understanding what Amazon truly is and what it wants to become has never been more critical.